My name is Tyler Ryan, and I'll be doing a presentation on drug courts in Appalachia. To start out, a drug court is a court system where a participant can choose whether to take counseling and psychiatric help through the drug court system or go to jail. The drug court system consists of 4 phases here in Ohio. It can vary, and the amount of time that the phases takes depends on the participant and what they do. It can consist of anything from community service to drug tests. It really does vary on the court system itself. The themes around my presentation: what drug courts do within the community and how they work, how the drug court committee helps the participants within the drug court, and factors that play a role on whether or not the participant graduates or fails drug court, and a comparison between Ohio and Florida drug courts. What drug courts do and how they work. Drug courts are all over the United States. There's over 2,000. 254 are in the state of Ohio alone. 3 are in Scioto County, and 1 is in Perry County. I actually intern at Hopewell Health Centers, and I actually have the chance to observe the Perry County drug court system. Every drug court system shares these 3 goals. To reduce recidivism, which is to make sure that the participant does not go back to their old ways or relapse. Just make sure they stay on the right path. 2 is to reduce substance abuse among the participants. So, of course, drug court is to make sure that the participants stay clean. They focus on how to control their triggers, and they stay sober. Number 3 is to rehabilitate participants of a successful integration into society. So we don't just want the participants to get sober. We want them to be better than that. We want the participants to help to be a successful member of society. We want them to have jobs. We want them to be educated. And drug courts help a tremendous way. An issue with that is that there's always this stigma on why are we paying for these people? Why are we paying for addicts? They made this choice. Honestly, drug courts are cheaper than just throwing someone into jail. To do a drug court 1 day a week for an entire year costs $326,410. The average cost for 1 inmate in the prison system is $30,000. So if you do just 10 inmates, you're spending nearly $300,000. So you're almost to the drug court system. In Ohio, there are over 50,000 inmates in the prison system. So you can do the math on that one. In my opinion, drug courts are cheaper. How the drug court committee helps the participants. Drug court committee will commit interviews to the participants, and these interviews will go and talk about what did the participant do before they were in drug court, why they were in drug court, why are they in drug court, how are they doing, what was their family like, who was it they hung out with. These all seem to be very personal, but they're major points on why this person is in drug court. And it also helps give the drug court community an idea on who this participant support system is, which is a major key altogether. And this interview also decides whether or not the participant is qualified for drug court or not. The participant could be violent, they could maybe not be right for drug court, maybe they do better in an inpatient rehab facility or a mental institution, and this is what the interview also consists of. And the social workers, caseworkers, counselors will talk with the judge, and the judge will decide overall on how the participant goes about his way of either joining drug court, going to jail, or maybe going somewhere else to make sure that they get better. This may seem like a well-oiled machine, but it, just like everything else, it has its issues. Philosophies will collide. The criminal justice system and the psychological social workers system, they do butt heads. The social workers, the caseworkers, and the counselors believe that throwing someone in jail is not therapeutic, or it's we need to focus more on them getting better than just throwing them in jail, where possibly the judge and some of the other staff believe that, well, they messed up, they broke the law, so they need to go spend time in jail, which kind of defeats the purpose of drug court, in my opinion. Drug court overall is a support system. Like I said before, both sides really do care about the participant. It's not just throw them in jail, or this person needs to be psychologically evaluated. It's more or less they want this person to be better. They want this person to feel better, to do better, and just be a more well-rounded person in society. And that's overall what drug court is we are that person's support system, because within Appalachia there's always that I'll do it on my own kind of attitude. And I personally have this issue. I face a lot of my issues on my own, and a lot of the participants in drug court have talked about how they just do this on their own. They don't have family members or friends that support them in what they're doing. And that's what the drug court does, is the drug court is there so in case this person does not have that support system. They can call any of us and say, hey, I'm having a trigger, I need talk, I need to focus, I need to get my mind off of this. And we're like, okay, man, we're here for you, we're going to make sure you're okay, and we're going to get your mind off this trigger, and we're going to keep you right on track. Factors that play a role in graduating drug court. Education is a major key. Comprehension on what is going on deals with education. The drug court helps participants get their high school diploma and or their GED, or caseworkers can even help the participants get their college degrees. Just having this alone will open so many opportunities for participants that they had before. And education, I believe, is a major key in keeping participants clean, sober, and able to graduate drug court. Job training. Even if the person does not want to go get their diploma, or if they have their diploma and they feel, well, I don't want to go to college, well, job training is always good. This way the person is able to have a form of skill and able to use it in the workforce. And if they are able to have a job, they're able to get money, and they're able to get money, they can get out of poverty. And when they get out of poverty, they're going to realize, hey, I don't have to have drugs to be happy, or I don't have to have drugs to make myself feel good. When I'm able to be stable financially, and I'm educated, I'm having a nice life. This helps the participant in many ways, and that's a majority of why people use it regardless, is they're in poverty, they're poor, they don't want to feel poor anymore. So they use the drugs to cover the pain. To prevent recidivation, the drug court is going to keep the participant as busy as possible. So what they're going to do within the first 30 days is they're going to have the participant constantly going to go get drug screened, to go to their counseling, to come to drug court, to go do community service. All of this is just to keep the participant busy, because in the first 30 days, the participant's going to go through withdrawals. They're going to try and figure out what their triggers are, and they're just trying to figure out what's going on in life. And they may relapse. They may have a few mess ups. This is very common in drug courts. But if you are able to keep that person from relapsing or going back to recidivizing, excuse me, if you're able to keep them from recidivizing, they have a way higher rate of graduating drug court than if they just keep recidivizing or if they just keep having trouble. The drug court comparison between Ohio and Florida. Ohio and Florida have similar ideas. They both provide a diverse array of incentives to encourage recovery-oriented behaviors such as abstinence treatment, attendance, and employment. So they're both wanting the participants to stay clean, obviously. They want the participants to be educated. They both want our participants to have jobs. They want the participants to be able to understand what their triggers are and how they can control those triggers. But they do have different ideas. Florida, I forgot to mention this, but Florida actually developed the drug court system in the 1980s, and they decided, well, we're spending so much money on putting people in jail for drugs and illegal substances and alcohol. They're like, well, let's create a court system that actually helps and builds up a person's confidence and morality to stay off drugs. And anyways, back to this. Florida believes that you should not spend more than 5 days in jail if you mess up in drug court. They believe it's untherapeutic. It has been proven that it is untherapeutic. Whereas in Ohio, it's kind of been indecisive. I've seen where it's a couple days in drug court, and then I've seen up to 2 weeks in drug court. I myself, I don't believe putting someone in jail is a good idea, but both Ohio and Florida share 10 key components. These 10 key components have to be followed within the court system. I'm just going to speak on just a few of these, just for time's sake. Number 1, drug courts integrate alcohol and other drug treatment services with justice system case processing. So they're going to look at, like I said before, they're trying to make sure the person is qualified to be in drug court. They're going to see if this person is mentally stable enough, are they qualified, is their charge really worth going to drug court, or was it like an incident that could be solved in another way? Number 4, drug courts provide access to a continuum of alcohol or illegal substance addiction services. Basically, within drug court, you get to talk to counselors, psychologists, social workers, judges, police, basically the whole spectrum of the law, of the criminal justice system and the psychiatric system. And these people help the participant any way they can. And then we go on to 6 through 10, where I talk about number 8, which is monitoring and evaluation measure the achievement of program goals and gauge effectiveness. What this is saying is that we're going to measure the effectiveness of the programs that we put the participants in and see what's the most reliable and what's not. This is really the more scientific and mathematical side of drug court. I feel this is very useful. The programs aren't for everyone, and that's a fact. Not everyone's going to be doing the same thing to get better. So the different job programs or education programs or even just mental health programs to help this person get through is going to be tested, and we're going to see the statistics on it, and we can possibly compare this with other participants down the road, and hopefully just keep building the bar and that success rate, and hopefully one day having 100% graduation rate in America. My final thoughts on drug courts. Drug courts are a phenomenal resource we have here in the United States, especially here in Appalachia with our major drug epidemic. I feel that it's a major use of our resources, and I feel it's also very cheaper than just sending people to jail. And just being able to educate and train these people to go back into the workforce, and it doesn't even have to be into their workforce, it can just be into their life. And just getting them off of drugs or illegal substances or alcohol, any of these, and just giving them a better life. And if you give them a better life, they will go out and try and make things better for others. They go out, they get a job, they become a working member of society, just like everybody gives the stigma about. It's like, why aren't these guys working? Why are they always doing this? Well, with drug courts, you can teach these people how to work, and you can teach them how to control their triggers. And when you teach them how to work, they're going to go work, and they're going to have money, and they're going to be going back into society. I'm not going to rant too much longer on that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching my presentation on drug courts, and I hope that I have taught you something about the drug court system. These are my references, if you would like to look through those. These references I also used in my paper. And one more time, thank you for watching this. My name is Tyler Ryan, and this has been about drug courts in Appalachia.